Welcome, everybody, to Youngstown Studio here in downtown Youngstown, Ohio. I'm BJ Lisko, filling in for Joe Danyi this week on Behind the Scenes. And with us this week, we have Michael Wood from Trivium. Michael, thanks so much for coming down.
No problem. Glad to be here.
So if you would, Michael, give us a little bit of a background on kind of how Trivium came to be here in Youngstown, Ohio, and how you got involved.
Yeah, so I'll tell the story about Trivium and then this location in Youngstown because it's a pretty cool one. Trivium as a whole is a global company, 60 locations, and almost on every continent pretty much. And we make metal packaging for aerosol products, food, beverage. These are the things that we do in Youngstown, and more broadly, metal packaging for primarily food, baby food. 60 locations. Now, Youngstown has a deeper history. This location used to be Exol. Trivium formed in 2019. The location in Exol has been there since 1993, so essentially two plants. And then the company's formed with a portion of Ardal and Exol to create one of the largest metal packaging companies in the world. So I've been there for about 5 years. Started off in the operation, now the plant manager. And it's a cool gig because you go to the store, you get to see what you make every day. Great people, and really great at innovating and making new things and new solutions for all different types of end uses.
Who are some of the biggest, clients that Trivium works with, and that specifically the plant in Youngstown sort of deals with?
It would look at like the house of brands. So a house of brands would be like Unilever. Unilever is like Dove, Tresemme, your Suaves, and then you get into like your Coca-Colas, which is Smart Water. And then other types of products that you would see, like Easy Cheese is Mondelez. So the cheese in a can, that can is made in Youngstown, a lot of it actually. And so it goes across some private labels. So if you ever see like a Great Value can of cheese, and the aerosol cheese, that's made in Youngstown. So it's things that you see every day. Sun care. If you go to the beach and you're in the middle of nowhere and you're in this little shack on the island and you see aerosol sun care like Sunbum, we make that in Youngstown. So it's everywhere that we go every day, things that we use, and it's a lot of big brands, and it really allows it to be a sustainable business for us because we're well diversified.
And how many people do you guys employ in the Youngstown location?
More than 400. So Youngstown is one of the largest manufacturing plants in the network, but there's also other services other folks that support the network in the Americas as a whole. So our finance team sits there, our IT team, and other shared services. Our innovation engineering team sits in Youngstown. So it's a pretty cool place to be in the sense that, there's a lot of good talent that comes from this area and works in that location that you get to see every day.
I was down there earlier today and shot some footage of all your operations and stuff. So we're gonna roll this.
So this is our front entrance here, and that's the original building that you're seeing right there, and it was expanded on. That's a painting of our the original owner of the company that started and sold it off in 2010. But you see all of our bottles in the background and showcase them. Take a lot of pride in what we do. This is what you see when you walk into our first plant. This is just one line that's about a football field long, and that line right there is making cheese cans, and a bunch of our team members. Printing operations, so when we decorate, you're making metal packaging from a slug. That decorator is actually 30 years old. If you look at the placard on that, it actually says West Germany on it.
Oh, wow.
And that's the testament of the good equipment and good maintenance team that we have. Because we essentially make premium packaging. This is not like your run of the mill like food can. This is more expensive. We don't compete with food cans or like beverage cans. We compete with more like premium aspects of on the aluminum bottle. But the Easy Cheese is kind of unique. The bottom of every Easy Cheese can you see there is a piston that actually pushes the cheese out. Or if you buy like little Kong pet foods, we actually make those cans as well for the peanut butter that goes in those things into the same type of technology. Making a lot of investment if you see any construction in the background, but essentially this is our warehouse right here as you walk through. And it's kind of hard to see, but there's tons of different types of cans.
Oh yeah, and I saw numerous ones, and we'll see more as we go here.
Yeah.
But it fascinated me how many moving parts there is to to everything down there, and then just the size of
Most people don't know that the
operation.
Youngstown location's there. I mean, it's kind of nestled in right across from the water treatment center in the little part of Youngstown. So there's a lot that goes into what we do. I mean, manufacturing in itself is a team sport. I mean, we wouldn't be able to operate the facility and the equipment with just anybody. I mean, we have a great team that really works together, and a lot of different types of talent that really make it happen. But as you're walking through right here, you see all the different colors, shapes. These are all things that will get shipped out to the fillers and then distribute across the globe.
Yeah, what are some of these brands on
As you're walking,
the right side
L'Oreal right here, Raid is what you see there. Those are mini travel cans as you're looking through. Some of those blank cans, so we'll make just a silver can, like a piston can, so that you just walked out of building 1 going into building 2 right now. Some of those plain cans that we don't decorate, we'll actually get like a full wrap. So if you ever had the icing out of an aerosol can, we make that from like Signature or Betty Crocker. We actually make that can. That's Sean who's walking you through here. So there's 5 lines over in building 2. And you're walking from the beginning of the line. If you look right there, that's how every can starts. Those little silver hockey puck looking things. It's aluminum slug that is made in North America. And as you walk through, those cylinders will get extruded in that press. And then different operations will hump out this trimming operation that's working through here. So, extruding any type of metal is relatively crude. So that top crude part of it will get trimmed to a final length. And that goes into recycling and then back into the process. You kind of did a walkthrough there. The little slugs coming down, that's pure aluminum, and then it will get extruded into a cylinder as you see there. So every can in our facility starts off like that. The gentleman that's operating that line right now is actually doing checks. He wears gloves because those cans, when you work something, even though it's a cold process, all that pressure creates heat, and then those checks are entered into our quality system. So being an operator at Trivium Youngstown, I mean there's a lot that goes to it. Maintaining your equipment, doing checks, making sure that you're meeting the dimensional requirements of the can, and ultimately yield the result to the customer. So it's a pretty cool operation.
Yeah, I mean, just servicing all the equipment, because like I said, I was astounded by all the sort of the moving parts and everything down there. And just cans are everywhere. I mean, you look up, there's cans above you, there's cans beside you, and you'll see when you go through. As I shoot and get around more, it's just like, oh my God, there's just everywhere you look. But yeah, I mean, how often do you guys have to maintain
every day
all this machinery?
Yeah, so there's many layers of maintenance. Like if you look at this operation right here, is we're cleaning the cans. So there's a degreasing operation, and then there's several sprays that will actually clean the can, and then like the water treatment. So we have to treat our water to create DI water. So if you're ever painting your house, and then you'll get down in the operation here, if you're ever like painting in your house and you have a dirty wall, you're going to get a pretty poor result. So when you're painting cans and protecting the inside of the can has a liner in it. Because aluminum from a beverage standpoint will give it. You don't want a metal taste. You want to have, and some of the products that we put in the cans from an aerosol, your hairsprays, your any type of your mousses, your sunscreens, that they're invasive to metal. So you have to have a liner protectant that you'll see here in the next operation, and then decorating the outside. If you have a dirty product, you're going to have a pretty poor result. Right. The can will peel, and it won't meet the performance characteristics that are required.
This episode was brought to you by Youngstown Computer, the Valley's technology company. We appreciate the loyalty you all have shown to us over the years, and it's our promise to serve all of the technology needs of the Valley. Call 330-259-7278. We have both home and business services available, everything from repair, installations, and new equipment. You can improve your Wi-Fi and have your technology serve you better. Call 330-259-7278, or you can schedule your appointment right now on youngstowncomputer.com and look for the red Book Now button.
These little carousels that you see here, this is accumulation. So like in any process, there's always ups and downs. And let's say in this department right here that they start maintaining it or doing some type of maintenance on it. When you're extruding, you don't want to stop because your tooling is heated up and everything is nice and kosher. So that's what that accumulation will happen, and it's in various points in the line. This is inside spray, so there's multiple sprays there that are essentially lining the inside of the can, and then you go into a curing oven here, which will cure it, and all the VOCs and solvents from that will go outside and then be destroyed prior to distributing into the atmosphere. So maintaining 300 yards of equipment that is essentially fully automated is, we have a great maintenance team of electrical and mechanical folks they're really talented and do a lot of do a really nice job of maintaining our equipment. And then we have another technical staff that really kind of experts in their own areas that maintain the tooling, make sure that everything is performing very well, and do rebuilds to make sure that we're being very cost effective. So this is getting into the coating operation. So this is where we start decorating the outside, and that's a clear base coat. So when you start to print or decorate, you have to have a base material to pin on, no different than when you're painting your house and you have a primer. This is the printing operation, so you see the can come to life from a visual appeal standpoint, and it's offset printing. So you have ink that's being transferred to a plate, which ultimately creates a plate. That part of that plate will be transferred to a blanket, and in combination with several others will create an image that will get rolled onto the can, and that's what we're making right there.
Now, do you guys do the design of the cans and stuff in house there too, or is it do your customers have a design in mind and they send you a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. So we have a full graphics team that really will take a customer's art or a customer's vision and work with our customers to take a piece of artwork and transfer it to a can. So there's some limitations that you have with the amount of colors, the type of printing technologies that we have that, we work with our customers to ultimately give them the solution that they desire with the limitations. But however, we have a great graphics team that's very capable and state-of-the-art equipment to make those plates and to print that image, which really allows us to give lifelike images on our cans. Some are really simple. Some are single colors, and then there's others where using process printing screens to really create kind of a lifelike image. The last part of the process is the final shaping, where we don't do any type of filling in our lines. We actually have to move that metal and create what we call a curl. And in this operation here is you see a progressive tool set and a machine moving. I'll actually be creating that curl to this image. This is a packer that will pack the cans. So depending on who we sell to, some customers will actually unload our pallets by hand. Other customers have depalletization, like on our beverage side or some of our more sophisticated aerosol facilities that we sell into. But what this machine is doing is called a necker. And that is taking that cylinder that's decorated and it's shaping it down and then rolling that metal over to create the curl. So when you're ever at home spraying hairspray on your hand, or if you're taking that Easy Cheese can and putting it on the table for your dog, look at that. You see the can, but look at that valve on top and that actuator, and that's where that connects to on that part, and that nice shape that we create as well. And we make more than 1 million cans a day on our plant. I mean, it's
wow.
Yeah. So you can see how it's just each little movement is actually shaping the can more and more. So this is a shrink wrapper. So you watch the cans. This is the pallet that would be stacked from those particular lines, and then the shrink wrapper will come down, and ultimately we go in the warehouse and get shipped to the customer. That's pretty sturdy packaging. Some of those, the more square type of, you can actually roll it, and it will actually stay together. So the pallet will move into position, get lifted up, as you can see in that dark colored pallet there. Down will come the hood, and it will actually cut and seal a portion of that hood, use gravity and air, look at all that physics, and then it will tuck it, and then on the outside of that yellow thing is actually burners that will start to heat up, and it will heat up the plastic, and then it will shrink around it. No different than your vacuum wrap or anything along those lines. And then there you go. You have a finished sealed package that's ready to be shipped. So transportation, because we ship mostly all across the United States, to have a good package and, a good product, but packaging it correctly is very important, because we want our customers to get every can that we ship them. So that's why we've made the investment into that technology.
This episode was brought to you by Youngstown Computer, the Valley's technology company. We appreciate the loyalty you all have shown to us over the years, and it's our promise to serve all of the technology needs of the Valley. Call 330-259-7278. We have both home and business services available, everything from repair, installations, and new equipment. You can improve your Wi-Fi and have your technology serve you better. Call 330-259-7278, or you can schedule your appointment right now on youngstowncomputer.com and look for the red Book Now button.
This is getting into more of the support departments here. And this is, I think we're going to go right into the plate maker.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so the plate maker he's leading you in here. This is where we'll actually, it's a laser plate maker that will actually make all those different plates that will result in the image. So if you treat every color as its own entity, you're making a plate for every color, and then you're stacking it up, and that's what that image that machine is doing right there. Is it's a laser in the background that's moving from left to right, and it's taking the artist, the graphic designer's work that's translated over into a program that the machine can replicate. So that starts off with a raw material, and that raw material will get entered or inputted into this machine on that cylinder, which matches our equipment. And then the laser will actually cut that image. It's high tech, very high tech in the sense of, when you're printing anything, it takes a lot of precision to really make something that's visually appealing. If you walk into the supermarket and you take in, you look at packaging, take a look at a cereal box and actually absorb the color and how it's printed, you'll see a lot of differences from box to box or from can to can. So the fact that we have some of the best technology for the type of printing we do really allows us to yield, very high-end quality. So when you're printing, pressure, the height of the image, really will result into you have, your ink that in itself is its own specialty. You have all these different types of mixtures and raw materials, and then in the plates, as you can see, that raw plate actually turning into an image. The laser is actually cutting 8 plates at a time that will ultimately lead up to that job, and you can just see all the different types of standards that we have for color. So, typically when you're making production, you're looking at light and dark and target standards because every blanket will yield a different result to some magnitude. And then our ink and plates team will actually take those plates and package it up for the operation, and off it goes to get ready on that shelf that you see out there. A lot of the visual performance indicators that you see in the plant, like that screen up there, that just tells you if every line is running, if it's a changeover. So no matter where you are in each facility, you know how the lines are performing and ultimately where to go to if there's a problem. But we have other forms of communication. This is one of our beverage lines, newer technology. So you can see the printer, every one of those ink wells is different types of color that will lead into making up the image. That's pretty cool to see. So that's just in that simple operation right there, it's taking cans off and moving them onto a pin so they go up in the oven to be cured. There's a lot that goes into that. Setting, air settings, vacuum settings, timing is very important. So, just handling the cans in the way that we do, takes a lot of skill from not only the operator on the line, but the technicians and teams that maintain the equipment to yield that result. So as you walk down to, this is the back half of that line. And these are more advanced shapes. So the first part that you saw two neck down or one neck down press that could form a simple shape, which is just your normal aerosol shoulder. On this one, where you're making a beverage bottle on this line, it requires more shaping stations. So you're shaping the shoulder, which is the base of the can up into the thread. And then the final operation, you have not only shaping tools that are just working that material, but you also have rotary tools as well. Mm-hmm. So that's a much different operation than the one we just saw further. It goes through a post washer, and then you see a camera system here that this equipment is actually washing the cans to make sure that once it goes to the filler, that all of the things that we use so we use all food grade products, and so everything in our air compressors are all food grade. Everything that we use in the plant is food grade, because when you're making food products, to be certified, you have to do these things for some of the largest customers in the world. And then the final operation in this line is it goes into camera inspection. So those cans are spinning. There's multiple cameras that are checking those things, and then ultimately it will go up into an upright palletizer and be packed into the finished product.
Kind of on average, about how long does it take to train somebody?
I mean, to be absolutely proficient, years. To be productive, several months. So the nice thing about what we do is, we have a training program. We have great people to train. Always can always be improvement in just training and education, but it takes 2 to 3 months for somebody to ultimately go out and be proficient. But the nice thing about our plan is, you're working in a department. You have people to the left and right of you to help you out. Some are more experienced than others, and we have a great team that if you ask anybody a question, they're going to answer it. If they don't know, they're going to find something. So then the supervisors of the operators are actually very proficient in what they do and are there to help as well. So the other thing in several departments, as you progress and you learn more and demonstrate your knowledge, you make more money, which is nice. Go to the left because there's a light, we call them a light curtain there. Yeah, so you can see all the different types of products in the facility. It's impressive.
It absolutely is. Yeah, this angle over here is what sort of impressed me most, just kind of scaling back over.
Right now you're up on a palletizer, so you saw those cans go up into a conveyor. And what they're doing is cans are coming through and then getting packaged. Now, our customer for this particular bottle, which is a national energy brand called Uptime, the filler is actually over in Kent.
Okay.
And so they'll make a short jaunt over to Kent, Ohio to on us, and they'll be filled and capped over there. Now, and they have the same type of equipment that will essentially rake the cans off, and then they'll enter their line and then be packed up. But if you ever had the Uptime Energy, it's a clean energy product. It's really good, especially if you ever had it directly off the line. I mean, it's fantastic. So a lot of automation goes into what we do, and that's why we have great controls and electrical controls team. Controls engineer that leads the department is fantastic. The great maintenance team that really takes care of what we do, and we contract out several local contractors that really have been a part of our company for quite some time, and do a fantastic job in making sure that we stay running. That's really the benefit of you see our people here, but the jobs that we create and the opportunities that a manufacturing facility or campus of this size creates in the community is quite large. We have an outdoor eating area. Especially now, it's great to be outside.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wants to be in a plant all day.
I know. Yeah, that was nice when we walked in, especially today. It was so
nice.
We
just built that. I mean, so that's where we have if we do any type of special events, we'll have them outside when we can, not in the winter. But you can eat there as well. Going in the machine shop. So we make a lot of our own parts, and that's the thing is we design a lot of things too. So on the graphic side, we have our own team, but we have very, very capable folks on the on the shaping and the tooling design. And once those designs come to life, we will actually, make those parts or do what we can, or as much as we can in our machine shop. And there's some very talented folks that work in that shop, and some of the best machinists that I know, and utilize that equipment to yield tooling or anything else that we need to manufacture our products. There's a lot of storage and slug storage to go into, but you see all of our parts here. This is just a tooling for one department. And if something is out of tolerance or fails, we have the ability to whip up what we need relatively quickly.
I mean, how can folks, if they want to get in touch with you or they want to get in touch with the company, if they want to find out more, I mean, how do they go about that?
I mean, they can go, learning about our company as a whole, triviumpackaging.com. You get to learn about, not only who we are, but the benefits of sustainable packaging, metal packaging, and how it's better for the environment. Two, if you want to apply for a job, Indeed or on the website at triviumpackaging.com. We also do manufacturing day, typically in the fall, where we open our doors to the community to, if people are interested in manufacturing or interested in working in our plant, stop on down and see us. We typically do kind of a stint through advertisement. There's many types of manufacturing. This is a different. Making packaging is one type, but a lot of folks that come down to that, we interview on the spot, and family members, and they take an interest in it, and they get a job from that. So we are expanding. As you probably saw us in the news, getting new assets and different things. So we'll always be hiring probably for the next few years, especially as attrition picks up. But yeah, those are different ways to come see us.
Are there any new innovations that Trivium is working on, or anything that coming up within the next year that the company is sort of particularly excited about?
One thing you saw locally for Trivium is the installation of new lines, expanding our capacity. We're very excited about that. There's some new things that I know of I can't probably tell you, but there's always those secret projects that come out and differentiate ourselves. So, we have an active, dedicated innovation team that's constantly looking at new ways. One of the recent ones that you'll see is olive oil in a bottle, and that was a recent innovation that we did not too long ago. And you see that everybody's taken a small step to metal packaging or something more sustainable, and it's pretty cool to see companies that have been in a plastic or a glass take the step to metal, and us being a part of that journey. So there's always something exciting going on in the innovation department.
Well, Michael, hey, Phil, thank you so much again for stopping down, and
no
very much appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Take care.